It is Tuesday, the 17th day of January 2023. Glad to have you here with us tonight. Much has happened and we are here to bring you up to speed with just that. We have a lot lined up for you, including an interview on the future of IEBC. We have Agano Party's presidential chief agent in studio, Bishop Paul Mwangi. So stay tuned for that interview. But first, let's take a look at our top stories tonight. Chebukati-led commission retires from office as Kenyans eager to know what's next for IEBC. President William Ruto commends Chebukati's conduct in the August 9 general election despite putting his life in danger. Slain LGBTQ activist Edwin Chiloba laid to rest at their home in Elgeyo Marakwet. And World Athletics ratifies Kipchoge's Berlin world record. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm in the company of Evans Odhiambo, our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is ODIDA. Remember to stay in touch with us on our social media platforms at KUTV_Kenya on all social media. You can also keep in touch with me on all social media at ODIDA. Let's get right into it. Now, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Chairman Wafula Chebukati has today retired from office together with two other commissioners after serving in the commission for 6 years. This is after 3 others resigned from the commission, and as Edward Nyamu now reports, Chebukati declares that he has set the standards high for the incoming commissioner.
After 6 years of service, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Chairperson Wafula Chebukati has completed his term in office. Chebukati retires together with Abdi Yakub Gule and Boya Molu, the only 2 commissioners who remained after the departure of the Cherera 4.
We hold that the August 2022 election, whose presidential results were held by the Supreme Court, were free, fair, credible, transparent, and impartial elections. This could not have been achieved without strict adherence to the corporate governance structure of the Commission and its guiding legal regimes. The Commission, as established and mandated by the Constitution of Kenya and IEBC Act, has clear roles, duties, responsibilities of its members and staff.
Like the proverbial cat with 9 lives, Chebukati has overseen 3 presidential polls, and in all of them, his integrity has been questioned, but he has survived, becoming the first IEBC boss to serve a full term since 2007. This was seen in the last general election after chaos was experienced at the Bomas of Kenya. Chebukati, who was appointed by the then President Uhuru Kenyatta in January 2017 to replace Isaac Hassan, has had his highs and low moments at the commission. Mr. Muturi, who was the chief guest at the event, said legislative and policy changes should be done in good time to avert the risk of having to change law during an electioning period.
And my word of advice to those who will be bearing the responsibility of replacing us with other Kenyans is that the IEBC office as chair or commissioners is not for the faint-hearted. Please choose commissioners wisely. Asanteni sana.
A section of Kenyans have, however, given mixed reactions on Chebukati's 6 years in office as Kenya's electoral body chairperson.
Mzee Chebukati amefanya kazi yake vilivyo.
As Chairman Wafula Chebukati and the remaining two IEBC commissioners leave the anniversary towers after 6 years of service, Wafula Chebukati has said that they have set the standards high for the incoming IEBC commissioner, and now it is up to President William Ruto to jumpstart the process of establishing a new commission to replace the outgoing one. Edward Nyamu, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Nyamu, for that report. Elsewhere, President William Ruto has said constitutional commissions and independent offices are integral to the prosperity and stability of Kenya. The president was speaking on Tuesday during a meeting with constitutional commissions and independent offices at State House, Nairobi. The president showered Wafula Chebukati with praises, referring to him as a patriot who stood up for justice while serving as the chairman for IEBC as he exits office today.
Rais William Ruto, naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua na mkuu wa mawaziri Musalia Mudavadi pamoja na viongozi wengine serikalini wamehudhuria hafla iliyoandaliwa katika ikulu ya Nairobi kupokea ripoti ya wenyekiti wa tume.
Sorry about that. We will be bringing you that story later on. National Assembly legislatures from Siaya County have been told to stop poking their noses at the affairs of the county assembly and stick to the role assigned to them to represent their constituents at the national level. A section of Siaya members of the county assembly, led by the East Assembly Ward representative Gordon Onyango, says recent remarks by some parliamentarians over the performance of the assembly went overboard, and there was a need for the two levels of representation to accord each other respect.
How come in Siaya we are going to use 600 million to build an office for the speaker? For whose benefit is that? I want to address the speaker and urge our MCS to use that money to institute development projects in their wards, projects that will benefit the people directly, people who gave them their votes. So I'm asking the speaker that this is not something that's a priority.
The problem we are having currently is that the MPs who are mandated to go and oversight on the national government are abdicating their duty to check on the Kenya Kwanza government and are coming back to Siaya to try and control the operations of the executive and the assembly. This we have seen happening with the demands from the likes of Elisha and Atandi on how the governor should run his affairs of the country.
Slain LGBTQ activist Edwin Kiprotich, alias Edwin Chiloba, has been laid to rest at his parents' home in Sergoit Village, KU North, Elgeyo Marakwet. The late model's body was taken from the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary around 11 a.m. on Tuesday before the cortege made its way to his rural home. Chiloba, fashion designer and model, was discovered dead inside a discarded metal box by the roadside in what will turn out to be a crime of passion that caused a global outrage for days. The suspects linked to the murder of Chiloba are still detained to pave way for investigations. Debates about the do's and don'ts of the competency-based curriculum continue to heat up among education stakeholders ahead of school reopening next week. Education stakeholders from Embu County now want the government to incorporate financial literacy in the curriculum, saying it will instill a saving culture in children.
Education stakeholders from Embu County have urged the government to find a way to incorporate financial literacy in the new CBC curriculum. Speaking to the press at Kangaroo Girls in Embu County, the stakeholders added that the financial literacy will instill a saving culture in children from a young age. Susan Modoni Mugera, a retired education officer, said that the inclusion of financial literacy will instill financial discipline in children. Mugure also said that investment should be taught as early as grade 1, grade 6, and junior secondary, citing that the future generation requires early identification of talents.
They should be nurtured quite early because the future generation and anything that we are doing require early identification of talents, and therefore, knowledge-wise, children should be able to be.
Nawiri Sacco CEO Joseph Mugo said that the inclusion of the program will help in the growth of Kenya's economy in the near future, as it will encourage a savings and investment culture in the next generation.
Itakuwa ya muhimu sana kwa sababu kwa curriculum itasaidia economy ya Kenya kukua pia.
Naitwa James Joe Mashine. Kwa wakati huu mimi ndiye mwenyekiti wa Nawiri Sacco. Mimi kwa maoni yangu naona hii maneno ya savings culture ikiwekwa kwa curriculum itakuwa ya manufaa sana. Sio tu kwa mtoto lakini hata kwa wale ambao watakuja baadaye au watoto ambao tunawafanyia siku hizi.
The chairman of Nawiri Sacco, Njue Mashine, also added that if financial literacy is incorporated in CBC, it will not only help the children, but will come back as a benefit to Kenya once the children are all grown up, as they are the next generation. This happens few weeks ahead of schools reopening. Ruth Wanjiru, KU TV.
Parents from Thika whose students sought for the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education KCPE last year have been given hope after a local primary school was upgraded to a secondary day school, easing affordability challenges in admissions. Thika Town Member of Parliament Alice Nganga has urged parents to enroll their children in the institution as they work towards improving its facilities.
The Jamhuri Primary School in Thika, that has over 350 pupils, will start admitting junior and senior secondary school students following an outcry from parents over a few day secondary schools in the area. It will offer relief to students from the highly populated neighboring wards of Kamenu, Township and Hospital, who used to walk to Kimuchu, Broadways, Kenyatta Girls and Queen of Rosary secondary schools, which are kilometers apart. Pupils in playgroup up to grade 6 will continue with their education in the school before it is slowly phased out and converted to fully pledged secondary school.
Last week I applied to the ministry through the PS and I requested for 9 teachers so that when we start the secondary school, we have enough teachers to teach all the subjects. Having qualified, if we qualified for the secondary school, then we qualify for the junior secondary school. And we know in junior secondary school, we need a laboratory. And what we have seen right now, we only need water in the classrooms. We need drainage in the classroom. And I think in the next 2 weeks, I'm up to the task. I can do that. I can provide for that for the school.
Thika Town MP Alice Nganga said that they are in talks with the Ministry of Education to equip the school and provide 9 secondary teachers before the schools reopen. This will increase the number of day secondary schools in the area to 5, most of which have a student population exceeding 1,000.
So I'm appealing to parents from Hospital Ward as well as Township and Kameno, whether they can agree now to bring their children. We have requested for 9 teachers, new teachers from the ministry to be posted here. We have identified where their administration block will be. It is over there. As well as we have identified where the laboratory is going to be located. So if you ask me, I can tell you we are good to go.
Jamhuri Primary School has unused infrastructure that will be modernized to enroll students for both junior and senior secondary education. Parents of the institution have been urged to take their children for Form 1 enrollment at the school as it looks forward to enrolling more than 90 students this year. Joy Minor, KUTV, Nairobi.
All right, now, Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria has formed a 15-member panel to develop policy frameworks for sharing of mining royalties. The task force comprises of officials from different state agencies. The CS was speaking in Nairobi during the inauguration of the Minerals Royalty Committee on Tuesday. The government has registered 3.4 million farmers as of January 17. Agriculture CS Mithika Linturi has said. Linturi said that the registration data will help with food budget allocation and distribution. He said the aim for registration is to get a database of all farmers, which includes identity, profile, location, crop, acreage, and fertilizer requirements, among others. The CS also say that farmers are giving their details voluntarily and that the government is planning to produce enough food for consumption and export. The registration of farmers is in line with President William Ruto's directive on household farmer registration.
Watasaidiwa na village elders kufanya either door to door registration ama wawe wanaenda kwa mahali kuna barazas na any forum yote ambayo itakuwepo. Tunawaambia wengine waone hata kama ni kwa makanisa, wakati watu wametoka kwa kanisa waweza kuisajili.
Traders from Ruiru have every reason to smile after finally acquiring a 1.8 million prime land each in Muthaiga, Thika, Kiambu County. The 250 members started saving 50 shillings each since 1994 after forming a group called Kujenga Self-Help Group that has steered them to realizing their dream of owning land in the town.
The lucky landowners who decided to start saving as low as 50 shillings in the year 1994 are now celebrating ownership of expensive plots of land in Thika. According to Geoffrey Kara, who is the group secretary and former Ruiru mayor, some of the old traders have since died and are appealing to their next of kin to come and take what belonged to their parents. Kara said that they had targeted to buy 62 acres of land, but due to corrupt former officials, they have managed to buy only 30 acres.
Mtu yote wa kujega pale popote yuko Kenya hii, akiwa alikuwa memba, mamake alikuwa memba, wakuje kwa ofisi yetu Ruiru pale Wales Hotel, watatukuta pale, tumwangalia rekodi yake, tumpatie mali ya wazazi wake.
Kara advised Kenyans to use the Hustler Fund loans into savings for such a noble idea. However, he declared that their area of investment is near area of Kangoki, where dumper trucks pass leaving waste leaks, thus causing a bad smell to the residents. He called on Thika Water and Sewerage Company to intervene as this would trigger the spread of cholera that has hit Kiambu County for the last few months.
It is so bad. Kama hii watu wanafanya fuliza. Mtu anakupa 500, anapeleka kwa kikundi, alafu hiyo pesa inaenda. So bad. Hata wengine saa ingine mimi husikia mtu anakuja anasema ilikuwa ikakuwa, wengine wanakuja hawana miguu, wengine wanakuja na wheelchair. Tunawahurumia, lakini tutawapatia mali yao.
Members of the group showed satisfaction after a tour where they were shown their plots and put beacons on them awaiting construction. They, however, urged the county government to put up essential amenities like water, electricity and road infrastructure for a better living.
Kuna kampuni nyingi ziko tu area hii ya kwetu, wanadanganya watu wako na shamba na ni kuongea tu uongo. Kwa hivyo mimi naweza julisha serikali ifuatilie hii mambo ya mashamba, wenye wanauza, wenye wananunua, ndio tuwe tukinunua shamba tunajua ni shamba tunanunua, tusiuziwe hewa.
The group has called on the government to protect its citizens from cartels for forcibly taking lands, saying every land buying company should be investigated and should be pinned to show the land and their mother titles. Mutunga Joseph, KUTV.
Ohangla musician who over the weekend entertained President William Ruto during his tour of Siaya County is now claiming that his life is in danger after known armed people raided his home demanding for money. popularly known by his stage name Ochieng Alvaro, says the hooded gangsters invaded his home during the homecoming party of ICT and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo.
Porter's Ochieng, popularly known as Ochieng Alvaro, fears his life is in danger after armed gangsters invaded his home at Ongelo village in the Reda sub-county on Saturday night, hours after he entertained the president during the homecoming party for ICT and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo a few kilometers away.
Nilimwambia Mr. President nyimbo, lakini wakati nilikuwa huko kwa show kwa waziri Mr. Eliud Owalo, nikapata kama walikuja before.
According to the musician, the gangsters had initially gone to his home at around 10 p.m. and asked for his whereabouts, but when told that he was not in, they left and later came back at around 3 a.m. and knocked, prompting him to inquire who they were and what they wanted.
Sasa wameniambia nisiwahi fanya hivyo tena within Siaya County. Kama nataka kufanya nyimbo kama hizo, nifanye outside Siaya County. Wakaniambia nifanye nini? Niwapatie pesa. Lakini sikuwa na pesa. Nikamwambia mimi sijalipwa.
Alvaro says they demanded that he surrenders the money he had received from the event, but to their disappointment, Alvaro told them he had not yet been paid. The gangsters took off with the musician's 4-year-old son and disappeared into the darkness, warning the shaken parents not to dare raise an alarm or pursue them.
Tukakaa tu hivyo mpaka asubuhi at dawn, nikaamuka ili nianze kushughulikia hiyo mambo ya mtoto wangu. Nikitoka kwa gate kuna meeting ingine hapo kubwa. Nikapata kama wamefunga mtoto hapo mkono, wamemfunga mpaka mguu yake.
Alvaro, who reported the matter to the police at Assembly Bay, is appealing on the government to come to his aid, adding that his life and that of his family is in danger. Kumu Modaki for KU Primetime News.
All right, with that story, we are taking our first short break. We are coming back with our interview on the future of IEBC. Stay tuned for that. We are coming back.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design, with branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa. Our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Tuesday tunakula usiku. Tuachane na break kwanza, tuende lunch. Chapo. Ndio. Kama ndimo.
Rasha piga shada kuna giza. Siki nice to nice weke story. Kata maji pia shada liko nasio nikosa msupo si stress. Kama rende kisha basi nipe. Najua ni nini.
Mama, big up, Zade, ukiwa Adliva, big up, Sis, big up, Shows, Mamba, big up, Oya, wase wote, okay, my principal, big up. Dancing, mashika, mashina,
that magic.
Somebody call 911. Anything for your girl, give me more.
So now, our platform has been made in such a way that it's very, very simple to use. Our interface is very simple to use. If you need to make a call, it's just a simple call button and the call goes. If you need to receive a call, it's just a simple answer button and you're able to answer. So we've made the solution in such a way that it's easy enough for even myself to explain to my grandma back at home. So that is one of the things that we fully focus on. Ideally, one of the biggest reasons why we actually decided to build this in Africa is because of support services. So even before we let you start using the software, we have a short implementation period where we help you do the customizations.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
The folks are going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepopa si vuguvugu. Pepopa ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You are watching KUTV Primetime News. Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, boss Wafula Chebukati, exits the commission on January 17, that is today. After serving a 6-year non-renewable term, Chebukati is exiting the electoral body alongside Commissioner Yakub Gulie and Molu Boya after 3 resigned and 1 Irene Masit, who still awaits the Muchelule-led tribunal verdict. Tonight in studio, I am joined by Bishop Paul Mwangi, Agano Party's chief presidential agent in the 2022 August 9 general election, to talk about what's next for IEBC. Welcome to studio, Bishop. Glad to have you here with us tonight.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be with you this evening.
All right, now let's just get right into it. As a chief presidential agent in the 2022 general election, how would you describe the August 9 polls?
My view is that we had a very good and peaceful general elections, and I was given that opportunity to be in the tallying center for 6 days. And generally, I can see that Kenya has greatly improved in terms of tallying technologies through IT or ICT technology. Because everything was hosted in the internet, and we could all check by our own other avenues. It is only that we were actually not allowed to announce the results. Yeah.
All right, now from an insider's perspective, being that you are chief agent in the most guarded and critical seat, what worked and what did not work in the delivery of that election process?
I would say that entirely everything went in the right way. It is only that there were hiccups that we lost some of the returning officers, which was quite unfortunate.
Right.
I'll also say that we really enjoyed to work with commissioners and the staff of IEBC. It gave me opportunity to be very close to the chairman, who was the returning officer of presidential elections, Mr. Shabukati, who actually retired today. And I can say generally he's a humble man and a very intelligent man. It is only that I didn't understand the controversy that came up from Serena Hotel, because the very commissioners and the deputy chairman of IEBC, they are the ones who led us to prepare to the announcement of the final results. In the morning that we were to finalize everything and they have the results announced, they actually called me and they prepared me as they should. And they told me that where I would sit to be called to sign the form, that 4C. But at the time we were nearing at 4 o'clock, that is 4 p.m., we actually saw the news breaking from another avenue that somebody is saying we are not part of what is going to be announced. To us was just a surprise that something else is cooking. That is not what exactly we knew from all along we were doing the activities.
All right.
Yes.
Now, we saw your party concede defeat and congratulate William Ruto even before his declaration as the presidential winner by IEBC chairperson. Is it that you are content, or just talk to us about that?
I'm actually the one who advised my presidential candidate, but because I was working on full capacity, my work was to see everything that was happening there, and advise my I can call them two candidates because they were joined as one, presidential candidate and deputy presidential candidate. Because eventually I had known where we are heading to, and I had known the winner in this case, and I was actually aware of whom we are going to announce. I'm saying we are because and that power to sign from that 4C, co-work with the returning officer and have everything announced. I was actually holding myself accountable that God has positioned me in such a place where I need to take care of the nation, despite the earlier times when we have had issues with the IEBC commissioners, like you can remember those years when 2007 when nation had to go into havoc. You see, we all blame one person, but we don't also consider responsibility of the others. So I was holding myself accountable. Where am I taking Kenya? Suppose I make the wrong mistake. Am I going to lie? Will there be bloodshed? Will I forgive me if any such happens in my stand and in my care? So I was calculating and I was thinking, God has given me that opportunity now to guide my presidential candidate, but also considering that I'm not only there for him or them or for my party, I was there for the nation.
All right. Now, I want us to discuss IEBC's 6 years in office, with Chebukati being the electoral body's chairperson. How can you describe his leadership?
I can say he happens to be the best of all that we have had earlier, because we have known on earlier cases where we were using manual formulas of counting the votes, and there were so many loopholes whereby anybody could just leak to any candidate, any position. But Chebukati has let the nation graduate from manual to digital, and they had actually digitalized everything, whereby everybody was feeling like this is the time. Even you can remember those years when we were saying, let the server be opened. Actually, he had opened the server. You could read for yourself, understand it yourself, check or recheck. And actually, there are people who had even reached the conclusion, we know this is the direction. And again, having known that I means independent, he has actually worked to let the commission or the team become very independent without being manipulated from like a national executive. You know, we had a sitting president, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who could in any way, because of his position, manipulate. But Chebukati, in his own capacities, leadership, had made sure that IEBC stands as independent as it should.
But Bishop, why do you think commissioners resigned from IEBC? In 2018, we saw the then Vice Chairperson, Consolata Nkatha, Commissioners Margaret Mwachanya and Paul Kurgat resign. They were citing lack of confidence in the Commission Chairman, Wafula Chebukati. We saw the same thing this year with the 4 commissioners who resigned. Now, what's your take on that, since you're saying that Chebukati's leadership, he is sure that all commissioners were independent?
They are only ashamed of themselves because they miscalculated. Possibly they thought by the question of the former regime, thinking that Raila Amolo Odinga could have become the president. By that notion alone, they thought a miracle would have happened that morning, but it went the wrong side. So by resignation, it's also declaring that they are defeated. I would want to see somebody who says that I'm right. I want to defend my thought or my ideology to the end in court, no matter who is pushing me right and left. But resignation is actually a sign of that I am surrendering. Also, we can observe that turning the plate on the other side, resignation to me, it can also sound like we are paving way for better leadership. So we are not the only one who can lead that. And so resignation also gives room for the right decision to be made for us to move forward.
So in your case, do you think the commissioners resigned to pave way for new leadership?
That is one. The other one is that they feel embarrassed. They feel we made the wrong decision. We misled the nation, because actually that was misleading the nation. Because I don't understand why. Like I remember Sherena somehow announced the final results or some of the very final constituencies. That morning, very early in the morning, she announced it. And later on, she was like, she's out of it. How are you out of what it's you announced? When we were in the tallying center itself on the tables, she came around to check what we are doing. Actually, she was advising. We sat in a meeting whereby we agreed, because of time frame. We had the computers on the table so that we quicken the work, considering that much of the doing was actually computer work, not really manual work. And we agreed with the consultation of Azimio team, represented by lawyer Paul Mwangi. We had Veronica from the UDA and Sholei. We had me. We had Alex Kanyi of Root Party. It was an agreement with the commission that can we add tables so that we quicken the results. We are not caught up with the time. Only to realize that when we are announcing the results, you are not part of those results. Actually, we had no issues because we verified the votes with all the professionalism. We had all the materials in place. No returning officer came and went without being attended. We don't remember any of them who came and was like, this table was not available for me. When we are now announcing the finals, they say, they pull out and they say, we are not part of this. That is hypocrisy.
So now, how would you rate IEBC's credibility? Let's take it back to 2017. We remember the Supreme Court nullified former President Uhuru Kenyatta's win. Then, barely a week to the presidential election rerun, Rosalyn Akombe resigned as well, saying the commission could not guarantee a credible election and that she felt unsafe serving at IEBC. How would you now rate IEBC's credibility?
Let's see where we have come from so that we understand where we are. We have come from a very odd way of counting our votes on earlier cases whereby politicians could manipulate the people they were actually staging into the IEBC. Remember, there were times when politicians were like Alpha and Omega, and there was like he can take his own relative to certain station, and that's all, and is going to count votes in his favor. Those are, we call them dark days. We got enlightened when we realized that elections can lead us to death. And actually, you have had issues of IDPs in the country, which were results of elections. So, from if we understand that dark age, now you see with the new age where we say that what do we do with our constitution? Can we allow our electoral officials become independent? Then what are the loopholes? What are things to change? I actually happened to have attended at KICC one of the forums where we were discussing thoroughly that we will not go back to the deaths and the misplacements of persons in the country because of elections. So we had a background of preparation. So with the current one, I can say I give them credit at 90% because they have improved in the sense that we did not fight. Although there are some hiccups here and there, you know, again, our youth get excited and our people are pulled by some incitements from the politicians. And you can realize you cannot compare it with the former, whereby like the year 2007, Kevoito could literally say, you Ruto, we rigged you in, and the other one, we rigged you out. You see, it's careless of such a chairman to put a nation in such havoc. Now, Chebukati was genuine this election, like 2022, that yes, if you don't agree with us, go to court, and we'll be ready to agree with the court ruling, because I am not the final. There is the question of going to court. And actually, let me tell you, I was the petitioner number E006, which were thrown out very early in the morning at 6 o'clock by the Supreme Court. And I saw the process of even registering the affidavit and all that. I saw it is very open. You are even interacting with the persons who are complaining or whom we are raising allegations against. It's like you are not in a battle really, but you are in to meet some consensus or some agreement. So when you hear that the results are being announced, it's out of much consultation. We actually have in our Agano party even now, we have records of what like Azimio put in the court. We have the records of UDA because we were exchanging the documents. Affidavits, we were served thoroughly. So at that point I can say Kenya won. Kenya did not lose.
All right. Now, Chebukati says he's leaving office a contented man, and he also says he's leaving high standards in the commission and owe no one an apology for their 6-year term in office. Yet we have witnessed rifts in that commission for the 2 elections he has conducted. What's your opinion on that?
I concur with him because I may use example of when my presidential candidate, I can now say former, when we were going to collect his IEBC clearance certificate, I can tell you genuinely and clearly that you have to go at a thorough verification, especially where we needed 48,000 names. There was nothing sacred that he was trying to hide aloud. Actually, everybody had to meet the requirement. And actually, I can tell you, because of running day and night, and our clerks were very tired, having worked day and night, we could make some mistakes. And Sebukatu was genuine with us. Come, I have seen this and that in your names. Can you kindly go? We have given you some more hours. Go and rectify yourself. So. Actually, even as we interacted with him at KICC, he told me, we are happy to have Prophet in the house. And actually, we had one-on-one talk, and it was like he was even seeing the need of me in his life more than being a chief agent. He could actually tell me, Prophet, remember to pray for me. You know, that closeness, I can call it intimacy, whereby one is even feeling free to ask you for prayers. He's not seeing you as a politician or as a chief agent of a politician. He's actually seeing you as a place he can put his prayer items. So I see with me, he's good, he's contented man. He has taken the nation from dark to a better position, and actually the higher position, whereby whoever comes after him should be very careful what he's doing.
All right, now you gave him 90%. Tell us about this 10%.
This 10% is because human being is not perfect. We are not God. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 9, it says, we do things partially, we prophesy partially, we preach partially. But when the perfect one comes, shall bring us the perfect. Even me, like now, if somebody begins to check even my dressing, will tell me, oh, you could have put yellow or white, but because I'm a human being, I'm not perfect. So that one is a space of if one got angry of him was not sure of him, that is there, and he's a human being like any other.
Now, what should be done to ensure that there is no stalemate in the occasion that there is a bone of contention after elections between the winning parties and the losing parties?
There is much to be done in the sense of that people lack the kind of the training. Like now, when we talk of the recruitments of the persons, there is not much. IBC did not do a lot to train people to prepare Kenyans in voting. The other thing is that we need to have openness. Whatever we are doing, let it be open. Like now, in this studio, there is nothing hidden. I can see the person in the other corner. I can see we are in an open floor.
Right.
We want to have our elections done open, nothing put under the table. Let even the CBC, what we are calling the children, whom we are calling CBC, understand the manner of elections, because after we become old, and after the old ones goes to retire or they are dead, are we not preparing the children to occupy the space? So we need to be very, very open. And again, we must remove politicians of the elections houses. Let them do the campaigns outside there. Let them exercise their right of voting in a very organized manner. And from there, we don't need them in the tallying centers, because that is where the issue of manipulation comes in. If by any chance I become biased and I am chief agent, I mislead my candidate. Why should I tell him the wrong information? I need to be true. And that's why you remember after the elections, or within the space, I had told the Azimio people, you people, you have been nagging us in the tallying center. It is me who is going to expose you. Because why would you come and take a video of a bishop in a tarring center. He has done nothing to you. He's not. I mean, he's not one of the interested parties. Why do you come and start video and you have no?
In the interest of time,
media
Bishop,
copyright.
allow me to cut you short.
Yes, please.
We're winding up now. The commission retires today. How do you think the selection process for the next commission should be done, and what measures should be put in place to ensure that there is harmony in the commission moving forward?
I know this is the time now they'll be recruiting new staff.
Right.
Number one, they should dictate within the law. What does the law say about employment? Who is supposed to be employed? What are the requirements?
Right.
They should go through those small things that are much needed. If one must have a degree to become an IBC staff, let it be so. If one must have worked at least within one term so that you become a commissioner, let it be so. If because you cannot come to lead people where you have no experience.
Right. Corruption
should be off the recruitment avenues,
right,
because people are manipulated within, not actually somebody with the passion to work with the IEBC. Yeah.
All right, thank you. That is Bishop Paul Mwangi, the presidential chief agent in the 2022 general election. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. All right, now in sports, World Athletics has given a formal consent to Kenyan marathoner Eliud Kipchoge's World Cup record of 2 hours, 1 minute and 9 seconds set in the Berlin Marathon held in September last year. That was Kipchoge's 10th title at the World Marathon Majors, making him the most successful marathoner ever. Also ratified is the world under 20 and 100 meters record of 9.91 seconds set by Botswana's Letsile Tebogo in last year's World Junior Championships held in Cali, Colombia. Mali and Angola shared a spoil in a 6-goal thriller in the opening match of African Nation Championship at Olympic Stadium in Algeria. Laurindo Aurelio struck twice to put Angola ahead before Davy Vieira netted the third goal for Angola. Hamido Sanikayo pulled one back for Mali in the 23rd minute before Yoro Diaby and Osman Coulibaly inspired Mali's dramatic comeback to end the match with a 3-3 draw. Both teams are now trying with 1 point in Group D.